Happening, lads, welcome back to the Cop Logic channel. Unfortunately, no Cop Goth video today. You just stuck with this fella for this video. Cheers, Callum. Nice one. Couldn't even give me an actual unique, thing. But anyway, getting into the video, I'm going to be addressing what I think is a seed of doubt in every Liverpool fan's mind right now, even if they don't know it yet. And that is, are FSG leaving the Liverpool squad short? And if you've immediately answered yes to that, shut up, let me have a video. Although, you are correct. Even if you look at the surface level of our business this summer, we've let 6 players go permanently and we've brought in 3. And one of them isn't really like a long-term option. We were close enough to being one of the smallest squads in the Premier League, let alone top 6. Now, I do acknowledge that we've let players who've got Weetabix for legs leave and we've got people in who are hopefully a bit more, reinforced. But for a top 6 club who not only wants to compete for the domestic league, but the domestic cups as well, both of them, and the European Cup, squad depth is pretty much essential. I don't mean to sound like an old man, right, but with modern football the way that it is, there's so many congested fixtures now. Not only do you have the 4 competitions I've just mentioned, but you also have things like the international tournaments, qualifiers, some of which even take place during the season. This year, we've got to worry about the AFCON and the Asian Cup now. And sure, that's only 2 players in Endo and Mo Salah, but that's like potentially up to a month without both of those players. When we've already got one of the smallest squads in the league and we've got no actual other DM really. Save for Bijks, unless by the time this video's come out, we've signed the core. This is called manifesting. We'll see if it works. But anyway, going back to the original point I was going to make, Liverpool have officially got the smallest squad in the Premier League as it stands right now. Which is, just to put into context how small of a squad that actually is, Manchester United, Chelsea and Tottenham all have either 33 or 32. And even Luton have more players than us right now with 29. So yeah, pretty catastrophic. I mean, we're already seeing the effects of it after 3 games. Game week form will be down to our 3rd and 4th choice centre-back pairing already. Now, I know you can't really predict or foresee red cards to Virgil van Dijk, but you can absolutely see him getting the extended ban, which was confirmed on Twitter before. But you could absolutely see an injury to Konate because he's injury prone, which is honestly such a shame, man. Plus, it's not like a Matip or Gomez injury are rare. We're one reasonably bad tackle away from playing Nat Phillips again in 2023. And by the way, that's no hate on Nat Phillips, but we should not have been in this position again. We should have learned from 2020-2021 season and signed a goddamn centre-back. Since Virgil van Dijk's joined in, I think it was 2018, we have made 1 centre-back signing, and that was Konate. So in about 5 years, we've signed 1 defender. I mean, I just don't understand the logic there. The thing is, our attack's fine. Our attack looks great. It's just like one of those, I've said this before, it's one of those drawings of the horses. Where like the front and the middle of the horse is really well drawn, at least now anyway. The middle was a bit meh before, but now it's fine. And the back end is just like, what the fuck? And the thing is, we leave ourselves in a position where we can be exploited and exposed massively. When you waste windows not doing business that you need to do, or even that you don't really need to do, but can do, you save yourself the headache of doing it later on. Like, let's face it, there's an underlying possibility that Salah leaves for Saudi Arabia next season, and our prospect right wing is Doak. Now, we've had links to Bakayoko from PSV, but it looks like Brentford or Burnley are trying to fight for him. So next year, we're going to have to try and force our way to find Mo Salah's replacement in, like, 1 window, which is like, if there's any possible person on this team that is impossible to replace, it's Mo Salah, and we're trying to give ourselves the littlest amount of time possible to replace him. And you could say, oh no, we've already got the backup, we already know who it is, we already know who we want. But if you genuinely believe that, you've learned nothing from this window. It was clear this was the window we were going to prioritise our midfield. And here we are with no idea who we want to get as our 4th midfielder. And then, by the way, not like Endo was planned either. I can't see Klopp sitting there at the start of the transfer window going, right, so we want McAllister, Szoboszlai, Wataru, Endo, and then we'll just see whoever's left. So, to summarise, we don't have Salah's replacement, meaning any right winger we go for next year is going to be over the price. Especially if they show any promise that they'll be like Salah. When we could have gone back a few years and got like, I don't know, Doku or Bakayoko himself even. For like a fraction of the price we're probably going to have to pay for next year's right winger, whoever it may be. And that's what I mean by we'll get extorted and exploited. Like even now, even in the remainder of this current transfer window, I'm not sure we should go and get the core. Because we've got 1 non-homegrown spot left, right? And in my opinion, to fit this squad perfectly, we still need a number 6 and a left-sided centre-back. And I know he's not a number 6 or a DM, but getting Ryan Gravenberch, who is technically homegrown for us, doesn't use up that non-homegrown spot. So I actually think maybe that getting Gravenberch and a left-sided centre-back would actually be better business. Even though Decore would be an amazing addition, would probably complete the team more. But we're so short on numbers that I'm actually starting to lean towards more quantity over quality. But I'm not completely there yet. But it's just so annoying having to sacrifice the right player for more players. Like, it'd be fine if this was some unforeseen circumstance, like a bunch of players left and forced to move through or something like that. But we wasted like 3 years not getting midfielders. And the thing is, you don't even have to go and splash the cash at each and every window. You just need to add little bits in each window. In the window we ended up signing Konate, he was the only one we signed that summer. If you just slap 2 midfielders in that window, perfectly fine. In the 2019-2020 season, all you need to do is like add a defender in. Basically just implement a system where you know you're starting 11, but each position has a player behind them waiting to take their opportunity. Whether that be an aged, experienced player or a young prospect ready to come in and try and make it theirs. And basically just have it like a conveyor belt. If someone leaves that side, another one comes in that side, and everyone just moves across one. The previous competition to the starting 11 now becomes the starting 11, and you've got someone else in to compete with them now. It sounds way more complicated than it actually is, but City do it flawlessly, to be honest. Laporte was on his way downhill, and they've just got Gvardiol to replace him. Aguero left them, and they went and got Haaland. And basically, that's all we want. We just want comfort knowing that there's always going to be someone that can take that role on if needed. And it's not always going to be perfect, absolutely not. But it'll only be a headache when it's extreme circumstances, if someone forces to move through or we get an injury crisis, stuff like that. Whereas in this scenario, it was clear as day that we were going to end up having some issues at some point because of our lack of business. Not even just because of this window, but over the last few windows. We did it effectively well with the attack, we just didn't do it anywhere else. As I said before, when we'd only had one signing since Virgil van Dijk came in the defence, and that was Konate. Before this summer, we'd only had one addition in the midfield, and that was Thiago. You just can't write it. Basically, all you need is a good scouting team, which I think we've got. The players we're linked to are always quite top class. That could just be coincidence, but I like to believe it's our scouts. And a sporting director that listens to them. And even when we're doing well, he looks at the squad and goes, okay, he looks like he's slowing down a little bit, or he's getting old now, we might need to look at his replacements. Or even, you're not committed to this team, you're off and we're getting a profit on you. Then they turn to their scouts and go, right lads, who's top of the list in this position, who's top of the list in this position, let's get them in. And this way you can afford to do these little games and little like tactics and stuff where you negotiate the price down, because you're not in such a desperate situation where you need to just fold, and clubs will know that. Clubs will stop doing that silly tactic where they overprice their players and just expect you to buy it because they think you're desperate and you'll need to. But we won't need to because we're covered. Well, anyway, to wrap this video up, it is an unbelievable yes. We are absolutely short in terms of squad members. We have a desire to be in the title race, both domestic cups, a European Cup with the smallest Premier League squad. But let me know if you guys actually disagree with me. Let me know if you think, despite being one of the smallest squads, we still have the ability to win a Premier League or domestic cups or even a Europa League. Let me know down there. Also, actually let me know what you'd want to do for the winter transfer window as well. Keen to see what you guys think we should do in January. But also, if I could ask you while you're down there, could you leave a like for me as well? We'd massively appreciate it. As I always say on this video, the more you guys interact with our stuff, the more exposure gets us, and the more eyes we get on us, and the more we can make this bigger community and be a loving, happy family.
No, but for real, if you did actually do that, I would actually adopt you. You know, if you want.
But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. So this is this fella signing off. In a bit, lads.